Conversations with God. I think that's a book. I think that's a book. Conversations with God. I haven't read it. Maybe I should read it. But I'm having a lot of conversations with God myself. And I'm going through another like phase of healing the God wound, which is like the wound inside of me or us that disconnects us from God. If you think of like a windshield wiper as like the lens of our perception, if there was no such thing as trauma or conditioning, we would have a clear windshield wiper, or we'd have a clear windshield. But we don't because we live in a world that has a lot of shit that happens to us slash for us. And the God wound is like the big black stain on that windshield that distorts or completely blocks our perception of God. And I was raised deeply Catholic, so that's a pretty bad stain. That's a pretty bad stain. I learned about a punitive God. I learned about a conditional God. I learned about, yeah, just a scary, like, selective God. And I'm still unraveling layers of that. And it was coming up on this time last year when I really, like, went through this massive wave of like healing and receiving like Christ consciousness, which is like so close to God, right? It's very like very close. And just recently I'm going through a whole nother wave of it, and there's so much grieving involved. Like there's so many tears to shed. There's so much because it's like I see it as a twofold process, because when I start to like cleanse that windshield and let that light truly pour into me, it's like, oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh. And it's like so incredibly beautiful. And it spotlights how, for the past 30 years of my life, I haven't been able to see that. And so there's a grieving and a mourning for the 30 years of not having that on top of letting it in. So it's wild. It's fucking wild. And it's interesting because I am having these conversations like, projection, the concept of projection. Like, I've been, oopsies. It's just so interesting. It's so interesting because it's like, am I projecting my God wound onto the masculine in my life? Or is the harm from the masculine getting projected onto God? I don't know what's true there. I think it's maybe a little bit of both. But I've been finding that through building healthier relationships with people who are actually embodied in their masculine energy, that has helped like prop me up, help like hold me to be able to face these deeper wounds or the deeper smudges and cracks on the windshield. Also, Shiva came to me. Shiva, the Hindu god Shiva, who's like the main masculine Hindu god. And he came to me in meditation, which was so fucking cool because that was the first time anything like that had happened to me. Because, like, I connect with ascended masters and beings and deities, like, intentionally through prayer and through Reiki. And when I do this, I get senses of them. But this was the first time that I recognized, like, this came to me. And it's so serendipitous because right now I'm doing all this big, deep God work, and here comes like the masculine god of Hindu culture into assist. And what's just interesting is like I have research to do, right? I have like a basic surface level understanding of Shiva, And, off the bat, I'm recognizing this as like a workaround, kind of like a loophole to God, where it's like, I don't have trauma from the Hindu faith. They didn't do anything to me. They didn't do shit to me, right? It was the Catholic Church that did the deed. You know what I'm saying? And so like Shiva's pretty neutral to me. Shiva doesn't have like a sting to it. And so it's a way to connect with a higher level of consciousness that deeply embodies like masculine, dark and light masculine divinity. And so I'm excited. I'm excited. It seems like I'm getting closer and closer. It seems like I'm getting like really deep into this. So I'm excited to work with Shiva. And it's like, okay, so I'll tell you something else. I'll tell you something else. I also like, and this is something I learned from my mentor. I like different ways to work with deities, right? You can pray to them, you can send Reiki to them, you can call upon them, you can build altars for them. There's lots of different things you can do. And you can have sex with them. You can have sex with them, or like intend to. Like you can masturbate to them. You can pleasure yourself with them. You can visualize them like fucking you. And what a better way for them to like literally enter your energetic field. And so, I got fucked today. I had sex today, and as this guy was fucking me, I was intending to be fucked by the consciousness of Shiva, just to like fucking get it in me. You know what I'm saying? And then like fast forward to this evening, I came home and I have a lot of time on my hands. And I, could do a lot of things with my time, but the message was clear to just like open up space tonight, like open up space tonight. And so I did, and boy, oh boy, have I been purging and releasing and grieving and like having that like influx of God consciousness come in at the same time of like grieving all of the times and purging the grief of the pain of what I wasn't allowed or permitted or offered the proper vantage point or clear windshield of God. Oh, so that's the tea.